Elderly man injured in Maxville Avenue shooting. An elderly man was injured in a gun attack on Maxville Avenue, St. Andrew, early yesterday evening. According to reports, gunshot rang out shortly after 7 p.m., causing bystanders to scatter for safety. Gunmen reportedly opened fire on patrons gathered at a local shop and bar in the area. Following the attack, the injured man was promptly transported to hospital for treatment. The St. Andrew South Police have since launched an investigation into the incident. Clarendon man killed, wife robbed after checking on neighbor's burning house. A man was killed by a gunman after checking on his neighbor's burning house in Green Meadows, Clarendon on Sunday. His wife had been robbed by the killers just minutes earlier after making a similar check on the fire. The deceased has been identified as Derek Morgan, otherwise called Jim, a 62-year-old truck driver of Green Meadows. Reports are that about 9:20 p.m., Morgan's wife has just driven into her yard when she observed a neighbor's house on fire. When she went to investigate, she was attacked by two men dressed in dark-colored clothing and masks. They robbed her of her cell phone at gunpoint and ordered her back to the house. About 2 minutes later, Morgan, on his way home from a domino game, also stopped to make checks at the burning house. He was attacked and shot multiple times. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Morgan was seen lying face down on the ground with gunshot wounds to the back of his head. He was taken to the Mapen Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The owner of the house that was ablaze was not at home at the time of the incident. PNP defends Asante Buchanan's candidacy. President of the People's National Party PNP Mark Golden has defended the party's endorsement of attorney Asante Buchanan for the East Portland constituency. This statement comes in response to criticism from the Jamaica Labour Party, which has condemned the PNP choice of Buchanan as a candidate for the upcoming general elections, citing his prior legal woes. The JLP argued that the decision indicates a lack of moral integrity and ethics. The JLP pointed to recent comments made by Mr. Buchanan aimed at senior female public service, which it described as crude and lewd as evidence of his questionable behavior and poor judgment. The JLP said these are issues that should not be overlooked. However, during the candidacy presentation, Mr. Golden emphasized that Buchanan's past does not define him. In his defense, Mr. Buchanan stated that he is focused on serving the people and is dedicated to bringing about change. Increased rainfall expected over the next few days. A slow-moving tropical wave that is currently impacting weather across Hispaniola is expected to move across Jamaica Tuesday into Wednesday and is forecast to influence weather conditions over the island during this period, the Meteorological Service of Jamaica stated. Consequently, projections are for cloudy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms, which may be heavy at times, to affect sections of most parishes, especially southern and northeastern parishes, beginning Tuesday morning through to Wednesday evening, a press release from the Met Office noted. Fishers and other marine interests, especially those inshore offshore the south coast, should exercise extreme caution as sea conditions will deteriorate in the vicinity of showers and thunderstorms. Furthermore, this tropical wave is forecast to merge with a broad area of low pressure across the southwestern Caribbean Sea by Wednesday evening, noted the Met Service. The low pressure system currently has a 50% chance of tropical cyclone development over the next 7 days and could begin influencing weather conditions across Jamaica by Friday. The Meteorological Service said it will be closely monitoring this system for further development. PNP opposed to utility regulators' proposal to increase consumers' contribution to Electricity Disaster Fund. Opposition spokesperson on energy Philip Palwell has voiced strong opposition to the Office of Utilities Regulations proposal to increase consumers' contributions to the Electricity Disaster Fund (EDF). This is in light of the Jamaica Public Service Company JPS request for $26 million from the fund to cover hurricane repairs. Mr. Palwell expressed grave concern about the impact of such a move on consumers, particularly given the ongoing cost of living crisis. He called for greater transparency from the OR and JPS, emphasizing that consumers deserve a clear and detailed explanation on the basis for this request and the justification for any increase. According to Mr. Palwell, if the EDF was intended to ensure that consumers are not saddled with additional costs in times of disaster, then the OR and JPS must act in alignment with this purpose. Meantime, Mr. Powell highlighted that Jamaica already has one of the highest energy costs in the region, a fact that places immense pressure on both households and businesses. He warned that adding any further burden will only exacerbate the challenges faced by Jamaicans and stifle economic growth. The energy spokesman is urging the OR to prioritize consumers' protection and explore alternative measures to strengthen the EDF without imposing further financial burdens on the public. He called on the OR to engage in open dialogue with all stakeholders, ensuring that any decision made is in the best interest of the Jamaican people.
Let me be clear, I do not support an increase to consumers' contributions to the disaster fund at this time. The Jamaican people cannot continue to bear the brunt of every financial shortfall in the energy sector. Consumers have the right to a transparent process where the details of JPS claims are fully disclosed. The Electricity Disaster Fund was created to shield consumers from additional costs after natural disasters. Yet, here we are, with a proposal that seems to be the exact opposite. Just a few months ago, we were assured that no additional charges would be placed on consumers to support post-hurricane restoration efforts. This reversal undermines public trust.
PNP government will transform agriculture, says Campbell. Convinced that the People's National Party PNP will be elected to lead Jamaica the next time the country goes to the polls, the party's General Secretary and spokesman on agriculture, Dr. Dayton Campbell, has promised that the PNP government will transform the agricultural sector. Speaking during a party rally in Portland on Sunday night, he accused the government of not doing enough to take farmers out of poverty and making unwise decisions about imports being allowed into the country only to be sold at hefty prices in supermarkets. The next PNP administration is going to ensure that we put land in the hands of the farmers so that they can produce and feed our country. We are going to build farm roads for you to farm so you can be efficient. Rather, Rural Agricultural Development Authority will come and help you with land preparation as the time of machete and hoe is over. It is time for mechanization in your farming so that you have access to irrigation, so you get value for your hard work as we transform agriculture in this country, Dr. Dayton Campbell promised. During his time on stage, an orange-clad comrade cheered him on as he blasted the Andrew Holness-led administration for what he said was a failure to take accountability for all that has gone wrong in Jamaica under its watch. Based on this government, you must not blame them for anything that is going on, even though they have been in government for 9 years. Everything that is wrong, they say, don't blame us, thundered Dr. Clark. He rattled off a list of reasons why the JLP should step aside, including the decision to give parliamentarians on both sides of the aisle a triple-digit % salary increase. The figure has been officially put at 230% paid to members of the House who were elected on both JLP and PNP tickets, but Dr. Campbell told supporters it was 300% and gave the impression only that the JLP side benefited. The increases to parliamentarians will cost $1.7 billion over 3 years, and as of April 2022, they no longer get housing and telephone allowances. Politicians at the local government level have also benefited from big increase, with the mayor of Kingston's salary more than doubled from $3.8 million to $10.1 million effective April 2023. In announcing the MP's huge jump in salary, then Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said the judiciary, whose members have benefited from a 100% increase over a 3-year period, remains that the highest priced branch in the government. He also pointed out that the senior leadership of the entire public service, including the police, nurses, teachers, and doctors, have also benefited from huge multi-million-dollar increases. At the lower level of the public service, some workers got increase of more than 200%. However, that has done nothing to placate the large quarters of the public, and the opposition has made it certain a central plank in its push for power. Sunday night's event was no different. After giving themselves a 300% increase in salary, after 9 years, they say, don't blame us for the bad roads. After 9 years in power, they say, don't blame us for the high crime. After 9 years and the 300% increase, they say, Don't blame us for the high cost of living, for the education crisis, government corruption, high utility bills, high cost of public transportation. They don't want to take responsibility for anything in the country. Step aside now because Mark Golding and the Team PNP is ready to take over, stated Dr. Campbell. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.